Hello guys, my name is Darklick, and as you can see from right behind me, in this episode we are going to be finally making the Fission Reactor. I hope you guys are ready. Hello guys, and welcome to episode 15 of our Hardcore All the Mods 9 Let's Play series. As you can see right behind us in the last episode, we actually went ahead and made ourselves fissile fuel setup, and this setup took a decent bit of time to actually go ahead and make, but as you can see, we have so much of this stuff. However, now in this episode is where the fun and kind of scary part is actually going to begin, because now we need to make the reactor, and there's actually two reasons that we actually are going to need this reactor. The first one is, of course, to get the stuff for polonium and all of the different resources with that. The other reason is our power setup is currently actually not enough to keep up with everything. Like, these things are draining power faster than it's making power, which is an issue, because what this is doing is occasionally this is going completely offline. Like you saw there for like a glimpse at the top. It went down to like 6,000 KAE, which is an issue, and we need to fix this issue relatively soon. And to do that, we are going to get into Mechanism, and we are going to get completely set up with everything reactors. Now, the nice thing about this whole process is it's actually not going to be that hard, as this literally gives a straight-up diagram of exactly how to make this whole reactor. And we're going to make a pretty beefy-sized reactor. I want this to be able to generate us power constantly, and I'm going to have that power be funneling back into our base. And getting all this set up is just going to be a process. We need to craft all of these different items. Like, we need the fusion reactor casings, the reactor ports, the reactor logic adapters, and then we need the reactor glass. So all of that is going to be quite the process, but again, I'm just going to end up calculating how much of these I need, and we're just going to go off of that and make this reactor. Now, first things first, we are not taking any risks at all. I am immediately going to make this hazmat suit, as this is going to protect us from everything that is related to the radiation stuff. It's not amazing in terms of like what it does, but because it doesn't give you any armor whatsoever, so I basically am stupidly squishy right now, and I can probably get killed by hostile mobs that are really strong. But we need safety for this, so we're going to end up doing that. But just in case, we have our enchanted gapples on standby in case something bad does happen. And as you can see right here, our energy is not even fully able to keep up with this basic process. So whether or not we like it, we need to get this process done, because if we wait any longer, it is going to make it so that we are unable to do any of this. So, in turn, we just gotta get this reactor set up, and we're gonna get more energy. And also, for people wondering, this isn't going to be our endgame energy, as the thing that I actually want us to get is the, the fusion reactor. My gosh. We need to get the fusion reactor. This thing can generate up to, like, over 200 million FE, which is going to be more than anything that we need. And it's not even going to be that hard to get. We just need to get these polonium pellets, which, as you probably guessed, come from this reactor. So that is why we are building this in the first place, is not only to get the polonium pellets, and that's not even the only thing this is going to end up being used for, as the reason I want this is to build the mech suit, which this is the best armor in the game. As long as it has energy, you physically cannot take damage, and you can add augments to all of these to basically protect you from almost anything. Potions, fall damage, everything. But we need the polonium pellets from this. And then we're also going to need to get these induction cells, which are going to be expensive. I will get to that whenever we can, but that's basically the idea. We want to get the mech suit, and we want to get the stuff for the fusion reactor. And to do all of that, we are going to need to get this polonium so that we're actually able to make this all. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, that's literally it. We just literally need the polonium pellets from this, and we're going to set up the reactor. All right, and to build this, we finally got all the materials. As you can see, I did take off my hazmat suit for a minute because those creatures do a lot of damage, and I don't know how much they will do to me if I were to take off my armor. So until we're actually starting up the reactor and actually dealing with radiation, will I actually do this. But let's go ahead and set this up now. I'm going to make this look better in the future, but right now I just need the reactor up. This is the middle, so we're going to put the reactor basically here. And it's going to be exactly like this, where we are going to build a 5x5 area. And if I'm not mistaken with the reactor, if we were to look at this, the floor can be glass, if I am not mistaken. Yes, okay, it can. Perfect. So, then what we're going to do is we are going to fill this entire area in. We're going to make sure that this is indeed a 5x5, which we're actually missing a little bit. The annoying thing about flight being disabled in here is it makes things a little bit harder to actually get set up, but it is fine because we can just go ahead and set it up like so. So we're going to build the outline for this, which is literally just a 5x5 cube. It's really simple. And then we're going to just fill it in with glass. Now, this is where things actually start to come together. I don't know if this is going to work, but I set this up so that it would be like we put the reactor things like this. Because if I'm not mistaken, this is how the reactor thing works and how it's set up. And then we just need a fuel rod assembly above all of these. I have no clue, again, if this is going to work, because in the diagram it only shows one. But if I remember how this reactor works, this should also work just fine. And then with reactor glass, we are going to cover everything up. So I am going to place down glass like that. And we are just going to fill in the entirety of this. And this shouldn't be an issue. Perfect. And from the back here, because I'm going to have the waste come out the back and in this direction, because in this direction, I will be putting all the stuff for the radiation and actually the processes of getting rid of said radiation. And then for the ports, we're going to have 2 at the front, and we're going to have 2 at the back. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we are going to have... This one is going to be an input for the fissile fuel. Then one of these is going to be an output for power, an output for the nuclear waste, and then there's something else which I can't remember right now. And then on the sides over here, this is where we are going to have our failsafe. We are going to have it like so. It's going to look like this, and it should be set up fine now. Now, if we fill this all in, what this should do is this will become a full multi-block, and you'll be able to tell that it is a full multi-block when it basically gives the redstone effect. And we're going to quickly get rid of this guy. This is why I'm scared to take off the armor. But let's see. Is this a finished reactor? Yes, it is. Oh, boy. And I just remembered what the last port is. It's an import for water. Basically the coolant for this reactor. As we could see, the reactor is disabled. And it's going to stay that way. Because we need to set up this port side. And what this is going to be set up for is we are basically going to make a redstone circuit. And this redstone circuit is going to basically tell the reactor, hey, this is wrong, turn off. And it'll turn itself off. And there's actually a very easy way to do this. I am going to be taking some inspiration, actually most inspiration, from a other YouTuber I watch, Chosen Architect. He is a YouTuber who I watch, and he had a very, actually he basically had the exact same setup, but I saw a couple of minute things that I was gonna change. But basically what we are gonna be doing to set this up is we are going to be using two mods. We are going to be using the create mod for the redstone link. It is somewhere up here, if I'm not mistaken. Redstone link. This thing. This thing is basically wireless redstone. This can emit a redstone signal from wherever. And then, this is basically going to be on each of these ports. And then we're going to use another mod called Tiny Redstone. And basically, I can put I can put a redstone circuit inside this tiny redstone panel. And it is going to be extremely easy to set up, and I'll show you guys that right now. And to make these redstone links, it's actually really simple. All you are going to do is you are going to take some logs. You are going to strip them, which, by the way, you can ultimine to strip them all at once. And then you just take your brass, and you can just right-click it, and they will become these brass casings. And with these brass casings, you just put them in with a redstone torch, and you get yourself these redstone links. It's very simple. And for the tiny redstone, it literally is just, this tiny redstone is literally just these items, but with silicon, for the most part, like wool and silicon, and that's basically it. And this is, the only hardest part, which is just slab, silicon, and redstone. Overall, very easy to craft up. Alright, now to set this up, because if we look at this, these are all different adapters. And we basically want this to send a signal to turn off whenever these different things happen. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that this is set to... This is going to be set to damage critical. This is going to be set to excess waste. This is going to be set to high temperature. And then this is going to basically be the inefficient fuel. And that is basically, I believe, it. I might need one more logic adapter to turn this thing on and off. Actually, I do think that is going to be a case. But for right now, we're going to set up these links like so. And as you can see, this one is on because this one is the insufficient fuel. And basically, this thing will turn off if it ever detects a redstone signal. So this is forcibly off. Even if I tried activating it, it would not function properly. And that's probably because I haven't set this up yet. So what we're going to set up now is just a little circuit right here. We're going to set it up right here on the edge. So we take this little pad, and we're basically going to set down a inverted redstone signal to all of these, basically telling these all, hey, stay off, or stay on, I guess. And it'll only activate if it sees that one of these things is wrong. And how we are going to do that? Well, we are going to get ourselves, first of all, a redstone torch, or a redstone block, doesn't really matter what, but for the sake of this, I am going to actually use a redstone glass, because it just looks nice. And I'm pretty sure I can just pick this back up. Okay. Because I'm going to set it right here. And what we are going to do is we are going to take this redstone. We're going to send it this way. And then we are going to take a piece of wool, place it like so. Take this redstone torch. We're going to set it like that. For whatever reason, the redstone here isn't working properly. So let's go ahead and try fixing that. This isn't placing properly. How do we angle you? There we go. So now that is going to be off because we only want this to emit an opposite redstone signal because we want this to be heading into this as not on. So just like that, I believe this is set up correctly. Now what we need to do is we need to set this to a channel. And what this is going to do, if I'm not mistaken, is this should power everything off. I'm going to set the channel of all of these to be glass. And we're going to quickly get rid of this guy. And we're just going to basically set these all to the same channel. And these are going to be receiving channels, if I am not mistaken. I actually think I have something wrong, so I'll be right back. Okay. So there was, in fact, something wrong with what I was doing. I had the basic idea correct, but I didn't have the execution properly. So we're going to put this here, because this actually is important for the setup. Notice how these are all set, emitting a redstone signal. Well, this needs to be replaced with a redstone link. Specifically one set to this channel. And we're going to get rid of this one because this one is going to be different. Also, we are going to need our wrench from Create. But it looks like we have some unwanted company right there, so let's just get rid of that. We need our Create wrench, and I'm not sure it is in my hands. I don't know why I did that, but you know, cool. What we're basically going to do is we're going to set this to this channel, and then we are going to basically tell this to receive redstone. And notice how this inverted itself. With this one, we are going to have set to this glass. And what this is going to do is we are going to set this middle one for activation. And basically that will mean as long as this has a redstone signal, this will be on. But if it doesn't have a redstone signal, it will not activate. So we're going to also set this one to receive. Notice how it doesn't have a signal. Well, if we were to, for example, turn this one as off, this would flip the redstone signal, basically telling the reactor everything is fine, operate, and it will turn itself off as soon as any of its conditions are not active. So that's really cool. That means we basically don't have to worry about this exploding unless one of these messes up, which shouldn't happen, but of course you always want to be safe rather than sorry. Now, as for the importing of the water, which is going to be right here, all I am going to do, there is a stupidly easy setup for this, and it is literally just placing down a sink, getting a fluid interface. We're going to attach it right here, attaching a fluid exporter, and then putting down a logic cable from Integrated Dynamics. Now, all we have to do from Integrated Dynamics, we are going to look up Integrated Dynamics, and we are going to get ourselves a variable card, if I am not mistaken. This should just do what it's supposed to do. I'm pretty sure right-click onto this. Ticks per operation. Oh, here we go. And then we export fluid. Or, yeah, export fluids. I'm not sure if export all fluids. There we go. And then basically what we're going to do is we are going to just set this transfer rate to something absolutely ridiculous, like as many 9s as we can. And just like that, this thing is going to instantly fill. Because this thing doesn't have a limit. And it is going to just infinitely pump water. If you guys haven't done integrated dynamics, do it. Because this is probably the fastest way to actually go ahead and get yourselves the water in here. So this is all set up now. This has water. This doesn't have fuel, and we need to set up our energy output, which this is going to be the heated coolant. So this is going to be going into a trash can. We do not need this steam. So to do that, we just configure these to output coolant, and this is going to be output waste. These are going to be our two inputs. For the waste, we actually want that. So we're going to send that into an area. But if we can't do that, we are going to have some nuclear waste barrels. However, for now, we are going to go ahead and just set this up with a trash can. This is going to be really easy, as all we are going to be getting is we're going to be getting a pressurized tube. We're going to just grab this, get that, and then get this. Perfect. We have the gas now. With this, we're going to just set that there, and then we are going to get ourselves a trash can. Which, to make that is really simple. All we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to make this trash can, then we're going to make this trash can, and then we are going to make this trash can. And then with all of that done, we can make the ultimate trash can. And then we can basically just void off all of this by simply clicking this with our configurator. So there we go. That is going to now be pulling out any of the gas. And then this is going to be putting out nuclear waste. And soon here in a second, we're going to connect this tube over to here. These crabs, maybe we need to make ourselves really quick. Let's make ourselves a mega torch, because mega torches will prevent hostile mobs from spawning. So let's just make this, because I'm kind of tired of these guys spawning. And there we go. Now these guys should not spawn around here. And now all we really have to do is set this up for the waste, and we should be completely good. I don't know. I need to do some testing to see if maybe you can use the ultimate trash cans to void off nuclear waste versus the nuclear waste barrels. I don't know if that works. This thing is supposedly able to transfer everything, but I don't think that it will work because this doesn't allow gases from what I've seen, but I don't know. I could be very mistaken, but I don't know. But either way, we are basically ready to turn this on, and that is going to be insane. So I think really quick, we're going to craft up some nuclear waste barrels and the machine required to make the polonium. And then I think we're ready to turn this on. Now, I know that a couple of people don't actually know this is a thing, but there is an item in Mechanism called a gauge dropper. And if you have something that has things in it that you don't want in it, you can just take this and click on it, and it'll remove the inputs from it and put it into these. And you can basically just take those gauges and put them into like a tank or something, and it'll store those instead, which is very helpful because otherwise you wouldn't be able to get these items out. However, I will probably end up on voiding these, and if you're wondering what this is for, well, to make one of the items for the reactor thing to actually turn the nuclear waste into polonium, we need something from Mechanism. I don't remember what it's called. This, the Solar Neutron Activator. And to get it, we need this HDPE sheet. And to get that, we need pellets. And to get the pellets, we need ethylene and oxygen and the substrate. Which this we get basically from getting ethylene, which is just getting the substrate, and this is a byproduct, so we can just make this. And all it is hydrogen and water. So we're going to go ahead and make that up, and I will see you guys when we actually get the solar neutron activate. All right, and we went ahead and actually crafted this solar neutron activator. It didn't take that much time to set up. I just needed to set up the gas chambers like I did. That sounded really bad. But we set up the pressurized reaction chamber, and everything went pretty smoothly. We're just going to expand this platform a little bit, and then what we're going to go ahead and do is over here, we are going to place down 3 barrels, and we are going to have these pressurized tubes. We are going to have one come down here, and then the other ones are going to head over here in all 3 directions. And this is going to be set to the output. We're going to make this pipe pull out. And now what we can do is we're going to take this solar neutron activator, slap it right there, and this should be good. Honestly, everything here now should be working perfectly fine. And because we have this, we now do need to put on our full radiation suit. We are going to grab this. We're going to connect it to this. This is going to be an input. And this should... we're going to need a pipe for this. But once we set this up, this will just start working. So what we're going to do is we're going to really quickly make another pressurized, I love how I just can't spell right now. We're going to get some pressurized, tubes for this. Because we want this to basically be getting us all of the gas and putting it directly into here. Now, this isn't activating. Is this a issue with the output thing? Oh, it is. Okay, so we're gonna see if this works. We're going to quickly go ahead and we're gonna set the limit on this thing to 10 right now. All right, and as soon as we set this to output, this is going to start. All right, I'm ready for this. Oh, I'm so nervous about this. Here we go. And it is on. Oh. And this is already making us that polonium. Oh no. The problem is here, right? We need to break this. So really quickly, we are going to take these configurators and we're going to pull these are all empty right now. Okay. It looks like we're doing good. Everything seems to be fine. The steam is immediately getting voided. And we are getting ourselves that polonium, which... this is what we came for. Now, to turn this into polonium pellets, we're gonna need a pressurized reaction chamber with water. So, let's quickly craft that up. Eventually, I'm just going to power this off. Simply because I do not want this running at all times. But with this, we should now be able to go here, grab this fluorite dust. And we're going to, of course, need a flux point. So let's quickly craft one of those. These are really easy to craft. Flux point. That is not it. It would be... Where are you? Flux point. This thing. So we're going to craft this right away. And we are going to just connect this to our network. There we go. And just like that. Oh, and this thing makes nuclear waste. Okay, so we do need some more of these pressurized pipes. And we need to send that output into here. Okay. And I do actually believe that we should separate this. And this is going to end up being the gas output. Is that set up right? Gases? Nope. Actually, it is. I don't know why that's not working. I'm terrified to break this or anything. Could it be a fluid? I don't know. But just like that, guys. Polonium, not plutonium. We did it. We made ourselves a reactor and got ourselves the polonium pellets. This is a massive step in the right direction, as not only is this going to enable us to completely get into the whole reactor setup that we are going for with the Fission Reactor, but this is also going to enable us to now get into making the mech suit. This is a massive step, and as you can see, this thing works perfectly fine, and I'm not going to end up messing with this. This is only going to be for a limited time kind of thingy until we upscale it for when we get antimatter, because we are going to need this nuclear waste and the polonium from this, if I am not mistaken, to get ourselves antimatter, if I am not mistaken. Let's go ahead and let me quickly verify that. Because to get it, we need, yes, the polonium. So, eventually, we are going to have to upscale this. And we're going to need to make this burn rate so much higher than it is right now. But right now, this is exactly what I want. And this is going to just be exactly what we are trying to get. I want this to be an output, which is weird because this isn't pulling. Oh, it's because there's waste in here. That's not good. Let's quickly do that. There we go. And now, this will just make us our polonium. Perfect. So guys, that is going to end up being our polonium setup. This is a massive step, and as you guys already know, this is going to enable us to now, with this polonium, we can now go ahead and make the Fission Reactor, which is just this. It is quite expensive, and we are going to need, from what I've seen from the quest, we are going to end up needing 36 of these, which means we are going to need to craft this about 8 times, if I'm not mistaken, about 8 to 9 times. So we're going to need quite a bit of polonium, but with that said and done, I think that we are done with this video. And first of all, I want to first quickly... No. As always, massive shout out to our Patreon for Ball Rules. If you guys want to support me in the best way possible and you enjoy my content, go sub to my Patreon. Tier 2 and above will be shouted out in every single episode, plus a bunch of other fancy perks, including World Download, which is going to be coming very soon. But anyways, guys, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for sticking until the very end. If you guys are new, please leave a like and subscribe, as it helps me grow as a full-time content creator who is trying to make this my full-time job, and I massively appreciate it. If you guys are new here, go check out episode 1 of this Let's Play series, and if you guys missed the last episode, go check out episode 14, where we actually go ahead and make the fission fuel setup completely automated with applied energistics. But anyways, my name is GregTech, and until next time, peace out.